Heaven Eye, it's Ablavi. Heaven Eyes, everyone watching. Today's video, I wanted to talk about the topic of polygamy. And I mean that in the sense of a male with multiple female partners. Pardon the construction sounds in the back if you hear that. But yeah, I wanted to talk about polygamy in the sense of a male with multiple female partners. And I think there's a lot of confusion in the world about it. Even within the spiritual community, I believe there's some confusion. And I think everyone in some way, shape, or form has had an experience with polygamy in some way, shape, or form. Saying, for myself, personally, I would say even I have family members who have a wife, but then they cheat, they outside of their marriage have another partner and other children. My grandfather has had more than one wife, not at the same time, especially in West Africa. It's very common that you have multiple women who bear children for you who are not exactly your wives at the same time. So this would be my experience, and I think a lot of people in the world have that type of experience where it's not righteously done. It's not done in a way where it's outright polygamy, a male with multiple partners. It's more so they see males seeking after multiple partners and maybe having children with multiple partners that they wouldn't call or title their wives, and the women wouldn't call or title themselves sister wives. I had to bring out the notes for this one to make sure everything is in order, because I believe it is an important topic. So what I first wanted to say, and I know people believe this, that all men are polygamists, but all men are not polygamists. All men are not polygamists, meaning that not all men can sustain marriage with multiple women simultaneously. Not all men can sustain marriage with multiple women simultaneously, which means not all men are polygamists. And the confusion comes in where men obviously innately have a desire to procreate, to reproduce. And in the world, it's become very fluid. So you can do that without having a wife. You can, to have your highest chances of reproduction, men seek after, it's a way to say this, seek after multiple women because they have an innate desire to reproduce, even though they might not consciously be thinking, I'm trying to have multiple children. Innately, that desire is to procreate. That's what that desire is. The desire is not to mind multiple women. Men do not want to mind multiple women. Men want to procreate. So I think that creates confusion because people think, okay, because men have this innate desire to procreate, that means they are all polygamists, because procreating with multiple women, men can impregnate multiple women very, very easily. That makes people to believe that all men are polygamists. But really, to be polygamist, you must be able to mind multiple women. And I'm not sure if men even, most men in the world don't even want to mind multiple women, let alone have the ability to righteously mind multiple women. So that point is that not all men are polygamists. Just because they have the innate desire to procreate, as almost all organisms do, doesn't mean they're polygamists, because as humans, as human expression, the male has to also be able to righteously mind, and spiritually mind multiple family members. So just because men want to procreate doesn't mean they're all polygamists. It means they want to procreate, which all organisms do. It's very simple. And because the world is a confusing place, it looks like polygamy, and it kind of it's kind of defamation of the word polygamy. All this what people think is polygamy is like creates a negative connotation because everyone's thinking it's about sex. But it is not. So not all men are polygamists. So not all men are polygamists. Which men are polygamists? Men that are ordained and chosen by God to truly be capable of sustaining righteous polygamous marriage. Like, you need to be ordained, you need to be chosen to be able to mind multiple women. So it's not all men that are ordained and have this capability. There are certain men that are ordained to be able to spiritually mind and spiritually give their mind to multiple female partners. I know that sounds like some it sounds dangerous. It's like only certain men can have multiple wives, and we see that in some societies, but it is true that you must be able to, you have to have certain spiritual capabilities to mind multiple women. It is not simply about procreating, but of course procreating is a part of it, and I'll talk about that. And the key word is marriage. To mind and sustain a righteous marriage, multiple marriages with multiple partners, or singular marriage with multiple partners. You have to be able to mind these partners. So again, a male must be ordained by the highest eye to have the capability, the strength, the willpower to conduct righteous polygamous marriages, right? So when I say this, I mean that male must have the spiritual capability to protect and provide for multiple women, meaning he must be able to mind multiple women, because as females, we are susceptible to emotional rule, different outside influences. We can give birth to different entities from our thought forms, so many different things. So the male needs to be very powerful to mind multiple women, let alone one, minding multiple women with the capability to have different thoughts and emotions. A male has to be very strong to be able to mind multiple women. And in order to do this, you need to be spiritually fit. The male needs to be spiritually fit. So I also wrote that a polygamous male is spiritually fit because he is able to multiply his spiritual perimeter. That spiritual perimeter of the male is like his masculine protection and provision. The borders he provides for his family. Not all men are able to expand those borders, and not all men are destined to do that. Not everyone has to do that. Like I say, you must be ordained and chosen to be a male that can expand your spiritual perimeter. I say a lot. And I also have another bullet saying that the male's mind must be righteous enough for multiple women to be able to adopt this mind and bring forth his common mission, which must be within the will of the highest eye. So I don't think there's much to say about that. The male's mind must be great enough for the women to adopt this mind. While he's minding the women must also adopt his mind. Not all men, and I mean, no, the intention is never disrespect. Not all males have a mind that is needed to be adopted by multiple women in order to bring forth the mission. Certain ordained men, have a mind that is needed to be adopted by multiple female partners to bring forth their mission. So Mind must be righteous, must be spiritually fit enough to expand that perimeter that is protection and provision. Being able to expand your spiritual perimeter, masculine protection, your masculine obligation for women and children, family to be safe within those borders. You need to be able to expand that. And another thing is that these males that are truly polygamous, they are not the ones that are seeking after multiple sexual partners. In the world, they say, well, men cheat anyways, men want a bunch of women anyways. Yes, like I've said, men want to procreate, men are naturally attracted to the females. Male-female attraction is simple. But the males that are truly polygamous and truly ordained to walk this path of polygamy, they value their seed. So they are not the same men who are chasing after multiple sexual partners, because their seed is very important. And not only their seed, yes, their seed, their mind. Their mind is important. It takes a certain type of female to adopt that mind and then to bring forward a seed that can be brought forth within the will. So, polygamous man is spiritually fit. He values his seed. It's not similar to the male in the world who is searching after multiple sexual partners. Even though, yes, bringing forth children is important to bring forth that mission and to have more minds within the will, more minds within the mission that he has. So, I get shy when people come by. Yes, I hope that was understood, that a male must be ordained and chosen to be able to sustain righteously this type of relationship, these types of marriages, and to furthermore conduct these types of families, because it grows from just a relationship, marriage, to families. And righteous mind, we want righteous minds. We need, and only righteous minds are ordained, truly. There's a lot of confusion, which allows different structures to come into play. However, only righteous minds are needed to conduct these types of families. Minds that want to bring forth the will and lead women and children and communities within this will. So yeah. I know in the world we see polygamy in the woke community is very popular, and it is popular in that sense that people want to honor the natural, innate desire of males to procreate, where you see, as I've said, men obviously are attracted to multiple females. But that does not mean it is righteous polygamy. Righteous polygamy is conducted by a male that is spiritually fit, ordained, and chosen. His mind is God's mind that must be adopted by multiple female partners in order to bring forth that will. Not only multiple female partners, but these female partners that adopt God's mind bring forth seeds that are within God's will. That is the purpose. That is the true purpose. So yes, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I hope that was really understood, that males who can multiply their spiritual wealth, multiply their spiritual perimeter, as I've said, I think that's a good term. Your spiritual perimeter is the borders you can create for your community, your protection and provision. Protection and provision is not about money, especially in the woke community. I see woke community, spiritual community, I see persons talk about money as protection and provision. Money is a big part of it. Males must have money to provide, but spiritual perimeter, ability to expand spiritual perimeter, that is true wealth. That is true wealth. And having God's mind, that is true wealth. It's not about fiat currency to be able to have wives in this house and this home and this home and make sure they're all provided for financially, and their children are financially provided for, because those are worldly things. And this is not, I think polygamy gets a bad rep because it's entered the realm of the world, and outside of the world, in reality, it is for those males who are spiritually fit, spiritually ordained by the highest side. It is not a game. It is to bring forth God's will. That is the purpose. That is the purpose. Yes, so I think I got all that I wanted to say. I hope that was understood. I hope it will be well received. And yes, I hope any ladies watching this, this can show and maybe teach a little bit. I hope to teach by being. I don't hope to teach by preaching. So hopefully I can teach by being as I go forth. But any ladies watching this, any males watching this, that we must know that a male's protection and provision is not, it's not money. It's not even so much physical. It's metaphysical. It's spiritual. You need to have a male that can lead you with God's mind, and a male that will mind you, and that you can adopt his mind, God's mind. So yes, that is righteous polygamy. And not all men are polygamists. Say it one more time. Because polygamy is a righteous path. You must be chosen, truly. Yes, thank you everyone for watching. And yeah, I hope this was understood. I've said that 3 times now, 3rd time's a charm. So, guide eye.